from the south, and it's going to slow down. It's going to be almost stationary, and that means there is a flash flood risk for the steeper terrains up there. And there's a red flag warning to the south and to the east of us because we're not getting nearly the rain that we have there. So there is an elevated fire risk today for some of our viewing areas. This red flag warning does not affect the Wenatchee Valley, but it does affect those folks out in the Columbia Basin. From the National Weather Service, we're already starting to see the clouds depart. We'll see sunshine this afternoon, high of 85. That's about normal, 59 for the overnight low. Then we start warming up. It is July after all. It's now mid-July, really. 89 with sunshine on Thursday. By Tuesday, I should say, by Wednesday, 87. By the time we get to Thursday, we'll be into the 90s, and we're going to be in for a hot one Saturday and Sunday. And that's it for us. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mad Dog Mandy, thanks for tuning in today. It is a great day. I love it when it rains. I woke up last night about 3 o'clock, very heavy thunderstorm. I have not checked to see if there were any fires started, though, but I haven't heard anything. So let's hope we're good. But it just was cool. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. I hate to say that I enjoy thunderstorms because of the potential risk of fires, but I won't say it then, okay? But hey, thanks for tuning in. Got a great show for you today. Got a really, really, really cool guest I'm proud to have on. But just a couple of things, you know, there was a girl I liked once, and I was talking to her, and she said to me, you know, she knew I liked her, and she said to me, how would you like to be the sunshine in my life? I said, I would love that. She says, okay, fine. Stay 97 million miles away from me. You know, with this weather we've been having, usually Wenatchee being so dry doesn't have a problem with mosquitoes, but mosquitoes have been a problem, and I heard it was so bad in East Wenatchee that the police department had to call out the SWAT team. Okay, yeah, I know, that was really bad. But okay, good, start your day with a laugh, kind of. But hey, I got a good guest. Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Summertime, summertime, summertime at Collins Fashions. Sundresses, tees, capris, skirts, shorts, tennis shoes, sandals, etc., etc. Special occasion dresses have arrived, and special orders are welcome at Collins. Gorgeous new designs from Brighton in handbags, jewelry, and sandals. French candy jewelry is gorgeous, and you can design your own pieces with medallions, pearls, gold, silver, Austrian crystals. Spectacular service just for you at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coos alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. There's ice on my heat pump and under my heat pump.
Well, ice under your heat pump is normal. When we go into a defrost cycle, it melts the frost off, creates water, which freezes to the ground. Ice around your heat pump is a thing that you should probably give us a call about.
Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
Okay, we are back. Street Talking Other Stuff, and I am very proud to introduce my guest, Mindy Wall. Mindy and I have been friends since 1985.
Yep.
When Mindy was cast as Peter Pan in Wenatchee High School's production of said musical.
Yes.
And how we met was that I was helping Pam Cole, who was the director, who needed people backstage to actually fly the actors.
Yep.
And she had you wore a special harness attached to a rope that I would jump off a ladder and pull it, and you would fly through the window, and everyone went like this.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yep.
I felt the applause was for me.
Every once in a while, somebody will ask me, how do you know Mike Magnotti? And I'll say, well, he jumped off a ladder and made me fly. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was your senior year in high school?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did drama back then?
I did, all through middle school and high school.
All right. What else did you play? You know?
Let's see, we did West Side Story, and I was one of the dancers.
At the high school?
Yeah, at Wenatchee High School.
You remember? I was Lieutenant Shrank.
That's right.
Yeah,
I was in West Side Story, and then we did the Pirates of Penzance, and I was
Yes.
one of the sisters in Pirates, my favorite musical.
And my
probably.
sister-in-law, Debbie Durham, at the time, choreographed that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep, so those were the three that I did in high school.
All right, cool.
Since then, I've done some drama. I lived in Ephrata for a long time. I was the high school drama director there for
Cool.
about 7 years. So I got to direct Pirates of Penzance and be on the other side of the stage, and that was really fun.
Did you ever do anything with the Maskers up in Soap Lake?
I didn't. It was, at that time I was raising kids and had a family, and so we went to some of the productions, but I didn't ever get to be on stage.
Okay. All right, well, look, that's the interesting stuff. The stuff where, we do the drama and the acting.
Yeah.
But tell us about yourself a little bit. Family, you connection to the community.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Wenatchee, went to Wenatchee High School, graduated from there. And I married my husband, Daryl, in 1990. We've been married, it'll be 33 years this August.
All right, cool.
We have 12 children.
Yes, you do. Okay.
3 that we got the old-fashioned way,
Really?
gave
Okay.
birth to them, and then 9 that we've adopted from various countries around the world. We're about to have our 10th grandchild.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're
wow.
pretty excited.
Wow.
Pretty
Yeah.
excited. I'm hoping to be, my son and daughter-in-law live right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm hoping to be there when the baby's born
All right,
in a
cool.
couple of weeks
All
here.
right, good, good.
My husband's a pastor. He pastors a little church in Peshastin.
Okay.
I'm a teacher by trade.
Hey, what's the name of the church,
Yeah,
by the way? And when are your services? Come on.
New Life Foursquare Church,
All right,
down
cool.
at the bottom of Blewett Pass, little brown building there down at the bottom of Blewett Pass.
Right.
Sunday service at 10 a.m. And everybody's welcome. We'd love to have you. So great little community of people that we really enjoy.
Cool.
I'm a teacher by trade. I've been teaching, for the better part of about 31 years. I taught music for a really long time. I taught drama, as I said. Now I'm the American Sign Language teacher at Cascade High School in Leavenworth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, good, good.
Yeah.
Okay, the adoption thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is why I asked Minnie to come on today, because she's got an incredible story, or probably multiple stories.
Yeah.
But as many of you know, adoption is close to my heart. I ran a nonprofit adoption agency for quite some time. But what this woman and her husband and family are doing is an incredible story that I want you to share.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell me about, in generality, what your plan is for adoption, but then get to some specifics, how you got into it, what the idea was, how this, because you just don't wake up one day and say, let's adopt.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that my journey in adoption really started when I was a teenager. My mom was a single mom for a good chunk of time. And when I was about 12 and a half, 13, she married a really wonderful man that some of your viewers might remember. His name was Terry Grubb. He was a dentist here in Wenatchee for many, many years. And he was an amazing, amazing person.
Okay.
And he actually adopted my brother and I when I was 14. And I remember going to the courthouse and sitting before the judge and saying, yes, I want to be adopted.
Yeah.
And him saying, these are my kids and I want to adopt them and I want to make them mine forever.
Right.
And that was such a pivotal point in my life that I always knew that adoption was on the table for me. I always knew that that was something I wanted to do.
That's really neat, because I still do adoption work now, and a lot of it is that family adoption. And I always tell these people, there's nothing more important than what you could be doing than assuming the parental role, and they're all just thrilled about it. So,
Yeah, and
so good for Mr. Grubb. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. We lost him in 2013,
Yeah, okay.
and that's been a hard loss.
I'll bet.
But he really was pivotal in my adoption journey. Married Daryl, and he and I knew that we wanted to have a big family, but adoption really wasn't something that was on his radar.
Really?
Even
Okay.
though it was on mine.
Yeah.
And so.
When mama happy, everybody happy.
Yeah, and that's a long story for a different time.
I'll bet it is.
How we came around.
I'll bet it is.
We had 2 boys, and then we suffered a couple of pregnancy losses, which was really hard.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then had our 3rd son, kind of a miracle baby. And after that, the doctor said, you know, you really probably shouldn't have any more kids this way.
Sure.
And so we started talking about adoption at that time. And in 2001, we completed our first adoption, which was our son Nikita from Russia. And he was 5 years old when we brought him
Now,
home.
what was that process like? I mean, because I've heard stories about people adopting from Russia. And do you mind giving some of the details of that?
You know, we didn't know what we didn't know.
Right.
It was our first time. There were things about Russian adoption that are different from other countries' adoptions. There were some things we were asked to do. We were asked to take some gifts.
Yes, that's
to make things happen.
That's what I've heard.
And we did that. We took a case of Hershey bars and used those to our advantage a couple of times to make things happen. But really, for the most part, everything went pretty well.
Okay. Were you looking for a specific type of child? How did you look? How did Nikita become the child that you adopted? You know what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
We actually wanted a girl. We had 3 boys at home, and we thought it would be nice to have a daughter. But, you know, one of the things you do in international adoption when you're first starting the process is they send you this survey. What kind of child would you be willing to have in your home?
Right.
An older child, a child with disabilities, what kinds of things would be acceptable to you? And that sounds really strange, you know, to say what kind of child is acceptable.
Well, that is, that's common in,
domestic adoption too.
as well. So
And we said pretty specifically, we were not willing to bring a child into our home who would be a danger to the children we already had in our home, but everything else was open for us.
Okay. And how old was Nikita?
He was 5 when we brought him
And how
home.
old was your youngest at home?
3.
3. Okay. Well,
So we adopted out of birth order, which a lot of people will tell you
Don't do,
not to do. It worked out great for us, and we've continued to do that, and it's never been an issue for us. But I can understand why you would want to be careful about birth order.
Sure.
Nikita has a physical disability. He was born with a congenital birth defect. It's called oromandibular limb hypogenesis syndrome.
Okay. All right, yeah, sure.
Basically, he doesn't have a right hand at all. His hand is missing at the wrist, and he has only 2 fingers on his left hand. And he also needed some jaw reconstruction, some other things.
Now, was this just a natural biological thing, or was there some suspicion of?
Yeah, I
prenatal?
don't know that we'll ever know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know that we'll ever know that.
Okay.
We don't really have any kind of genetic way to tell
Sure.
if there was anything going on there. But we brought this, like I said, we were kind of hoping for a girl, but the adoption agency sent us this VHS tape, that's how long ago it was, of this little boy singing and putting on his clothes and playing with the other children, and we saw his video and we said, that's our son.
Okay,
and
cool.
so
Very
we
cool.
brought him home, and adjustment was hard in some ways. He didn't speak any English, we didn't speak any Russian. And he'd been kind of, let's say, coddled in the orphanage. He was the oldest one there.
Okay.
He kind of was in charge.
Okay,
And
all right.
so he had to learn some different ways of being in a family and being in a group of people, and that took some time.
Adjusting to a different role.
It
so
was
to speak.
very
Okay,
different, yeah.
all right, yeah.
But he's done very well. He just got married in March,
cool.
and we just got to see him a couple weeks ago, and he's doing really well.
Okay, now a child like that, there's that generic term, special needs, which
Yeah.
covers the whole. Was this the thought you were going into when you're looking at special needs children, or when you saw the video, was this the first time you realized that there was a physical issue you would be dealing with?
So physical needs was one of the things we said we could handle.
Okay, all right.
We have a son, a biological son, who is on the autism spectrum. And so
Okay.
we'd already navigated the educational system, the medical system, some of those other things. And we thought, you know, there are children out there who need parents, and they need parents who know how to navigate these systems.
Right,
and since
right.
we already know how to do this, let's go ahead and just say we'll take a child with disabilities because we know how.
Right.
And that kind of has been our MO since
Yeah.
then. And then the other thing is that we've been very drawn toward the kids who are a little bit older, or actually quite a bit older. Yeah,
And see,
those-
that's one of the reasons, Mindy, why I wanted to have you on, because doing
Yeah.
adoption work, and again, this is not faulting anyone in any way, but the majority of people are looking for infants
Sure.
that have no issues.
Sure.
Okay, and I don't blame them for that.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's just there are so many children out there. I always refer them to Northwest Adoption Exchange.
Yes.
Because if you're interested in that, NWAE.org,
Yeah.
okay, and you will see the children in Washington, I think Idaho and Oregon,
And Alaska.
and Alaska, okay, all right, that are what we call legally free, who they were looking for
Right.
homes, but none of these kids are what people generally are looking for. These are children who are older, who have other issues.
Right.
But there is a great need. Many people say they want to adopt, but there's a great need for these children that are not considered
Adoptable.
perfect.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, I mean, you've had biological kids.
Yeah.
There ain't no guarantee with them
Right.
either.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And our hearts really are for those kids who wouldn't have the opportunity to have a family otherwise.
Right.
And so our oldest adoption, our son Joseph, was 16 when we brought him home.
Really?
So we've
Okay.
actually adopted all the way up to 16.
Okay.
And you know, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
There are definite challenges that come with older child adoption, especially, I would say, older child adoption internationally, because they come not only with some trauma, some abandonment, but they also come with a culture that's different from the culture that we have here.
Right.
So there are definitely some issues with that. There's some things you have to kind of figure out how to navigate with those
Okay.
older children. Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to get back to talk some more specific stories if you want, but we need to take a break. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm talking with Mindy Wall. She and her husband, and I'm sorry, Daryl. is his
Daryl,
name,
yep.
Okay. They do an incredible job in adopting these children. Like you say, 12 kids,
Yeah, total, yeah. Nine
of
adopted.
whom have been adopted. Okay, we're going to talk about, coming back, I'm going to probe a little bit for some specific stories, but we need to take a break. So Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back. So.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local event broadcasts. JDSA Law has been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, your risks, and your accomplishments. JDSA Law supports the TV broadcasts of these local community events.
The Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Free Motion e-bikes is rolling out its new line of Aventon e-bikes. Come in today and save $300 on the top-selling Aventon Adventure. Remotion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building in downtown Wenatchee.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Ah, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and Other Stuff. Talk with Mindy Walsh. She and her husband Daryl have assumed the life mission of adopting children who need to be adopted. Okay, and I want you, if you would, give us some specific stories about some of these kids.
Yeah.
You know how it came about.
Yeah, so I talked about Nikita in 2001, and we kind of went along with these 4 boys for a while. And then Daryl, who was not on board with adoption at the very beginning, started saying, you know, it'd be really nice to have a daughter. And so we started looking at different countries, and at that time, the place to get a girl was China. And so we ended up going to China and adopting Elena. Elena is deaf. And so we started learning sign language at that time. It turned out that she did have some residual hearing, and she does use a hearing aid, so she uses both sign language and speech and language.
Okay. And how old was Elena?
She was 2. She was our youngest adoption, and that was in 2007. And then we went back to China in 2012 and adopted Maya, who has the same disability as Elena, so they're both deaf. Both use a hearing aid, so both use both languages. We went back to China again in 2014 and adopted Haley. And Haley has some developmental cognitive disabilities. And then we went back in 2016 and adopted Jonathan. And
so what was motivating all this?
Yeah, you know, I guess what I would say is that for us as a family, we feel like it's a calling.
Okay, yeah.
That it's really our ministry.
Sure.
It's really our mission.
Sure.
And again, we really feel like the children who wouldn't be adoptable otherwise. They're there, they already exist, right? They're already in the world, and they need families and homes, and wouldn't necessarily be able to get one because of their age or because of their disability. And so Maya was almost 9 when we adopted her. Haley was 13. Jonathan was 9 days from his 14th birthday, which is significant because in China you age out at 14.
Oh, really? Okay,
and
that I didn't know
so,
that.
Not adoptable after 14, and many of those kids are actually turned out on the street at 14. Jonathan has cerebral palsy, so physical disability. And then Daryl and I got connected with an orphanage in Sierra Leone, Africa, through our ministry through Foursquare. So Foursquare is our church, our denomination, and we started working for Foursquare in Sierra Leone, and we got connected with an orphanage there and a pastor who runs a small orphanage there, and we ended up adopting 2 kids.
Now, you told
Deborah and
me when we
Joseph.
started that, did Daryl just tell you I've adopted 2 more kids?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And what did you say?
So,
did you say great? Good.
yeah, great, let's do it. So we adopted Joseph and Deborah in 2018, and we brought them home. And just last February, Daryl was back in Sierra Leone and completed the adoption of 2 more children, our last 2, I think.
Now, have you met these children
I
yet?
have, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
good,
of course.
good.
We travel to Sierra Leone 2 times a year. So I've been there with the orphanage, and I've been with the kids and met them. Daryl completed that adoption in February. The girls are still there, and we are working through the immigration process to bring them home. We're actually going to be there in West Africa. I'm leaving in 12 days to be there.
Right, and this is something where, you might actually need some financial help. Would that be a
That would be
possibility?
amazing, yeah.
Cool.
We have a kind of a dual ministry in West Africa. We work with this orphanage and we support the orphanage. We're actually helping them. We helped them to purchase a new piece of land, and we're helping them build a new facility so that they can have more children at their facility. But we also work for our denomination and train pastors and leaders there in Sierra Leone.
And would there happen to be a website that people could go to if they wanted more information?
So I actually have 2 different places that people could go.
Okay.
So the first one would be our church website is newlifeleavenworth.com, newlifeleavenworth.com. Right. And there's a little give tab on the menu there, and you could scroll down to Sierra Leone Missions and Ministry and give there toward our ministry that we do there. If someone would like to give toward the adoption process, I think we are pretty close, but we're about $2,000 short of bringing these 2 girls home.
Okay.
I have a website, it's simplymissmindy.com, or my email address is simplymissmindy@gmail.com, and somebody could contact me that way. And
if by any chance you didn't catch that information, you can always email me, maddog@nwi.net, or contact me via the station. I can connect you with Misty.
yeah, that'd be awesome. So we're planning to bring these 2 girls home hopefully in August. We're trying to expedite the process with immigration.
How old are these gals again?
They are 13 and 14.
Okay, do they, what's the language?
So the language that is spoken commonly in Sierra Leone is a language called Creole. It's spelled K-R-I-O. A lot of times people confuse it with Creole, which is what's spoken in Haiti.
Right.
But it's not, it's K-R-I-O, Creole. But the language of school, what they're educated in, is English. So the girls do have some amount of English. The education system there, of course, is not the same as the education system here, so there's some catching up to do once they get here.
Sure.
But as a teacher, I feel pretty competent in getting them in the right classes.
Now, so you will send them to public school?
They will go to the Cascade School District in Leavenworth, which is where I teach. It's where we live. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that people are listening to this and going, boy, that sounds really cool. But this is not puppies in a window type of thing.
It's not.
You know, this is something like I say, you and Dara have a calling to do this, and it's as admirable as it is, it's not for everyone.
It's not.
Okay, so what would you want to tell somebody who's listening to right now is thinking, hey, this is something maybe I would like to do more investigative, looking into type.
Yeah. I would say that adoption, especially special needs adoption or older child adoption, is not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
In fact, it is quite challenging.
Yeah, you've had some major challenges.
We've had some really major challenges. Adoption is an amazing thing, but it always stems from loss.
Right.
And so the kids always have some amount of trauma in their background.
Yes.
And so, and that amount of trauma varies child by child. And we've had very little trauma, and we've had a great deal of trauma. And so it's challenging, and it's not always fun. So I would say, don't do it unless you have a calling to do it.
Right.
It really is not for everybody. However, I would say everybody can support adoption.
Yes.
Everybody can support an adoptive family. You can support adoption agencies. You can support an orphanage. There are lots of ways that you can be supportive of adoption. And, I told you my husband Daryl is a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
We're Christians. We believe that there's a calling for every Christian to support the widow and the orphan.
Right, exactly. Well, that's God's heart. I've always said this, God's heart is adoption.
That's God's heart. But it doesn't mean you need to bring children into your home.
Right.
If that's not your calling, you probably shouldn't do it. But if it is your calling, I would love to talk to somebody about how to do that, how to make that happen.
Okay, and we're talking with Mindy Wall. You can contact her. She is willing to talk, and like I said,
absolutely.
If you can't find her, contact me. We can let you know. But hey, we need to take a break. We'll come back in a minute with Street Talk and other stuff. We will be right back. So.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at Boswell's. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
A break from reality. Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities. They have the perfect hot tub for any space and any budget, including saltwater hot tubs for the absolute best ownership experience. Find free-flow plug-and-play spas that make it simple and affordable to get you soaking. Drop-a-tone furniture to complete your patio. Make summer a splash with a high-quality, easy-to-set-up above-ground pool with pumps and filters from Central Washington Water, your water experts.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. And Mindy, I just want to say, hey, God bless you big time.
You.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
You are dealing with eternal realities here. And I put this on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but the Jewish Talmud says, you save a child, you save a world. Okay, so.
Yeah, I believe that.
All right. Hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
In New York. We'll take you to the Seattle area to meet twin sisters who are breaking records in pole vaulting. And Hall of Famer Champ Bailey chats with us for this week's Journey to Greatness. That's all coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to Sports Stars of Tomorrow, the show that goes around the country introducing you to the next generation of top athletes. I'm your host, Charles Davis. We have a lot to get to today, so let's